Hi, I'm Dan Ciamatero, writer and artist of Snot-Ball comics, and avid Muppet fan. So, you want to know what I thought of the new Muppet Show? Well, then you came to the right place. All right, why don't we get things started?
Snot-Ball Comics spoils the Muppet Show. It's finally here! The Muppet Show 2000, 26 years too late. Muppets, guest stars, Kermit's fucked up voice.
So, did Disney finally stick the landing on one of these things? Or were they doomed to shit the bed again? Well, I'm happy to report, my friends, they did not. This thing is damn near perfect. Although, to be honest, I was never particularly all that worried to begin with. As soon as I heard the word Muppet, followed by the word show, my fears were assuaged. I've been saying for decades that a literal return to form is all this property needed to land back on its feet. However, I guess hearing the word Seth, followed by the word Rogan, probably didn't hurt either. And I'm not saying that as some kind of super fan. I could take or leave the guy. But every time one of these vaguely edgy middle-aged comedians gets his hands on the Muppets, I breathe a sigh of relief, because they always do a pretty damn good job. How good of a job? Well, let's pull up that carpet and get down to those brass tacks. Right off the bat, before watching even a second of the show, the first thing you notice is the runtime. 24 minutes, right on the money. Would I have loved to have seen a 2-hour Muppet Show spectacular? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, that's all we ever would have gotten. 2-hour special event this Wednesday on ABC. Putting this thing at the 30-minute mark was a power play on the part of the showrunners for 3 reasons. Number 1, it tells the audience that you are in fact watching an episode of The Muppet Show. Number 2, it gives them blackmail material to hold against the network. Want to see more Muppets? You've got to greenlight the show. And number 3, whether the show gets made or not, making an episode is a far better feather in the cap for everybody involved than any throwaway special ever would be. Before this, I only ever knew one thing about Sabrina Carpenter, and that's that she was wicked hot. But now I know 2 things. 1, she's wicked hot. And 2, she's the perfect Muppet Show guest. She struck just the right balance between youthful appeal and timeless charisma. Of course, it doesn't hurt that her hit song Man-Child sounds just like a late 70s, early 80s country song. A vibe that the show steered into to great effect, both with her and the Muppets themselves. But aside from that, she brought to the stage all the charm, wit, and family-friendly sex appeal of an original Muppet Show guest. In fact, her banter with Kermit was so fun and flirty, you'd think Henson was there himself. And although her rapport with Miss Piggy was a little safe for a regular episode, this being the first episode back, her starstruck fan shtick struck just the right balance. As for the other guest stars, I'm a little up in the air about them altogether. On the one hand, I love the gag where Seth Rogen is cut from his own show. He plays it a little cool for my liking, but it's a funny bit, and I could see it being a fun, reoccurring gag in the future. And Maya Rudolph not only has the dirtiest joke in the show, an offhanded comment about Kermit's dick that flies under the radar for most viewers, but also the darkest, where she dies and apparently goes to hell. And I could see having a second guest star in the audience every week could be a cool addition to the show. Something of a compliment to Statler and Waldorf. On the other hand, just having them at all seems to reek of studio interference, which is what we were all worried about in the first place. But at the end of the day, their bits are funny, well-written, short, and they never pull focus from the real stars of the show. All right, let's talk Muppets. It's what we're all here for, after all, and god damn it, it's what the show's here for, too. This show is indeed Muppetational. It sees the triumphant return of Rizzo the Rat, who does an awesome rendition of The Weeknd's Blinded by the Lights, a song that rules even when it's not being sung by puppets. We get the first official and unceremonious Muppet Show debut of both Pepe the Prawn, who rules, and Bobo the Bear, who also rules. We get a forgettable, but not unwelcome, return to the Muppet Labs, and even an homage to the At the Dance segment from the first season. A segment that sucked back then, but it's still fun to see hinted at in this one. If you've got a favorite Muppet, chances are you're going to see them, and the odds are pretty good that they're going to get tapped into play. But if this show has a couple of MVPs, it's going to have to be Scooter, who I think is the most improved Muppet under a new performer, and of course Miss Piggy, who I think is the most consistent Muppet under a new performer, although in my opinion, she gets a little too much screen time at the expense of Fozzie Bear. But only just a little. If this was a show in the regular season, this would definitely be a Miss Piggy episode. But all in all, I think that this is a very balanced Muppet Show. Oh, and if you're one of those people who's asking, "Where's Walter?" I've got bad news for you, my friend. Walter's not a real Muppet. He's a plot device. He worked well for the movie that he was in, but we already have a Walter. His name is Scooter, and we don't need another Scooter. And if you're going to say, "But wait a minute, they made a whole movie about how he became a Muppet." Yeah, they also made a movie where Gonzo was a space alien. How did that one work out? And now that we've got that unpleasantness behind us. So here's the thing. I'm obviously not going to have a lot to say here. I mean, damn near perfect leaves very little room for complaints. But I do have a couple, and they both have to do with Kermit the Frog. The first one, as I hinted at before, has to do with his voice. And I'm just going to say this. Matt Vogel is going through the same growing pains that Steve Whitmire did. And it's kind of working out pretty much the same way. On the one hand, he's getting a little bit better at it. And on the other hand, we're getting a little bit more used to it. But I'm not going to dog him too much. I don't like what happened to Steve Whitmire, but it's not his fault. And Kermit still rules this show because he does an excellent job performing him. And I'm pretty sure as time goes by, we're just going to kind of get used to him. My real problem with this episode comes right near the end. Right when Kermit's about to introduce the final act. Not the final act itself, where he brings all the Muppets on to sing. That's fantastic. But the scene right before it, both backstage with the Muppets, where he's explaining that he's not going to put on any of their acts, and when he goes to explain it to the audience. You see, there's a difference between TV Kermit and movie Kermit. TV Kermit is a little brash. He can be distractible. Sometimes he's kind of a dick. Movie Kermit is not. He's very conciliatory. He's a really nice guy, and he always softens up right before the end of the movie. I love movie Kermit, but you need a fucking movie to have him. This TV show did not need this scene, and it ruins all the goodwill that the show had been building up to this point. And I suspect there's a couple of reasons why this is here, and neither one of them is very good. On the one hand, it goes back to that studio interference that I was talking about before, and that really kind of sucks. On the other hand, a little bit less cynical, I think that perhaps the writers thought everybody loves Kermit, and this is who Kermit is. That's a shame, because I'd really like to see him go back to being kind of a jerk from time to time, at least on the TV show. So, what did I think about this show in the end? Come on now. Do you really think that's enough to pull it away? Absolutely not. This show was fantastic. You should watch it, your kids should watch it, your granny should watch it. This is exactly what we need at this time in history, where the whole world has gone to hell. So what do I rate this show? I give this one a 9 out of 10. If it was a regular show, perhaps it may not be the best, but being the only one we got right now, it's fantastic. And I only look forward to a world where it's mid, when we got a whole bunch more to look forward to. Thanks a lot, gang. We'll see you next time.
Hey, gang. If you like what you saw, don't forget to tell me in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe, and for more reviews, deep dives, as well as comedy sketches and original animations, hit the alert bell so you don't miss a thing.